The hanged king's comedy. The smiteful's torment shall permit gloom of power whence the worlds split, and black stars hate without relent. The king's pernicious game is spent. Failed usurper 10 trillion times, fueled by those two who sinned no crimes. So now my reign stands to begin, anguish the court of strife and sin. Existence within my control, agony racking every soul. Thus I will feed the king his sin, to die till he can't die again. Thereafter I will take my throne, all flesh having been stripped to bone. All lives are pawns of the anguished kings, and to suffer and die on my puppet strings. Of Doctors and Alagada by Gabriel, Jade, and Black Knife 09. Two colleagues sat in the mansion's study, one man cradling a snifter of brandy, while the other drew on an ornate pipe. When his voice broke the silence, it was accompanied by a cloud of smoke. "Rare of you to have your servants leave the room, Riddell. What fame would come over you?" Pausing for several moments to down his brandy, Riddell produced a leather-bound journal from his breast suit. "I have just this morning received, by way of courier, my newest purchase. An account penned by an inhabitant of the realm beyond the Janus door." His guest's eyes widened at that. It had been several long years since another clue to the arcane gate had been uncovered. "Where did you find such a thing?" Erasmus leaned forward and reached out his hand for the book, obviously eager to read its contents. The host extended his prize, and the guest took it. "By blind auction. By a Mr. Dark. It merely cost my summer estate." "Small price to pay," Erasmus agreed, carefully opening the journal. "And from what manner of creature did this account come?" "A gentleman, cracked and fractured, if the merchant is to be believed. The man sought to open the doors from the other side, and traded away this journal for the reagents he needed to activate his door." Riddell refilled his snifter with brandy from a decanter on the table next to his chair, then continued, "Who's to say if the man found what he was after?" Erasmus turned through the pages, desperate to read a first-hand description of this mysterious Alagada. Finally, he found what he was looking for. The ever-twisting golden maze of endless facade and orgy was alight again with the joyous screams of lust and sharp sadism. Beautiful scarlet flowers atop such wondrous garments danced doggedly with their hosts, in an unholy display, and the dapper of a gentleman being lost in the impulsive fit of irony. These paved streets are a blessing to those who follow its vulgar dogma, and by the damned lords they do. The thirst of these delinquents on the streets has such profound effect that even I, in a chosen existence of celibacy, have almost succumbed to the tainted pursuit of the abominable intoxicant. One would think, with the mongrels of the streets being so entangled with their social heights of degeneracy, that they would have the skill of excellent banter. But, to the dismay of I, they even fail in that regard. Most of them are not able to hold a civil conversation for little more than a cluster of words before they stumble off from a drunken concoction of poor ales and drowsiness of reality. Lost in their twisted lusts, it takes a little more than a blink of an eye to find one's inquiries either forgotten or ignored, lost to the back of the mind, along with other interactions to fester in a sea of madness. These memories would never enter the thoughts of that simple brain again after plying merely, "Dost thou know I?" To lack verbatos on the resolution that both parties come to, "Aye, but neither know if that is true. For time is convoluted in its goal of passing, and does not follow a simple path. It's twisting and contorting throughout our existence in this city realm. So events are not unique to one time, and instead the correct question to these events is not when, but where. Waiting at one point for a lengthy period, one may find an old event, But not that this matters at all, as one experiences of this repeat is that of one's first time. An extended stroll will find one with many memories of events that they were not there to perceive. I walked past a clock tower near my abode, and towering above all below on the street in a golden excellence display, crooked hands aiming towards ciphers and digits. Each blink, or passing moment, displays a face on the clock, vastly different from the one a moment before, legitimizing its entire existence in a sea of disjointed instants. Yet, despite all of this, my condition worsens. My hatred turns to poison within me. Anguish tempts me to plunge yet deeper into forbidden lore to find the remedy. Even now I am drawing up preparations to make mine invasion to the library of cosmic speculation, wherein it is said, knowledge from all worlds are catalogued for the purview of the twisted court of sin. He read on for hours, consuming the thin book with his eyes as his host slowly consumed his brandy. Erasmus's eyes were wide when he looked up, but soon narrowed as his mind moved onward to the next hurdle. What guarantee have we his methods will open the gate? None. The scholar's tongue moistened his lips as he held the open book in his hands, slightly shaking from the tension with which he sat. Still, it is too great a chance to pass up. A library wherein one might uncover even a lost portion of the holy literature is worth any cost. Riddell nodded his agreement. His mind hid well its secret desires to search the text for more profane and powerful. I'm glad you agree, as I hope to leave you the procurement of his required reagents. Erasmus nodded. A fair deal. Only the cackle of the flames broke the silence as he pondered the magnificence of the journey before him. Riddell was merely glad his guest had been so amenable to supplying payment. In truth, he had made the journey alone once before, in secret, and at tremendous cost. He spent several months there, by his reckoning, before his rations had given out and he had been forced to retreat through the door. How bitterly he had cursed when it slammed shut behind him. He never did uncover the knowledge he sought, though what he had found enticed him all the more. Rumors of men who cast aside their mortality and overcome the great sepulchre of death filled Riddell's mind. At last, he would have a second chance at uncovering the truth of those secrets within the court of the hanged.